Hey, glad you can join us today. My name is Shazrina, and I'm a Year 2 DFT student. In our second year, we get to hone our skills by learning advanced editing, audio post, cinematography, directing and advanced directing, marketing and distribution, as well as studio production, and get an overview of non-fiction and screenwriting. Our student will form a team to create an 8-minute genre film plus a 10-minute short documentary. This short film will tug at your heartstrings, expand your worldview, and might even send a chill or two down your spine. We hope you enjoyed these films and documentaries as much as we enjoyed bringing them to life.
When I was younger, I had always thought that it would just be me, my older brother, and my parents. A family of 4, the perfect number for a family to have. I never imagined needing anyone else because they were just enough for me. When I found out that my mom was pregnant, I was surprised at first, but I became excited when I realized what it could mean to me. I thought about how amazing it would be if I had a younger sister. But somehow, that didn't go as I planned either. Instead, I had 2 baby brothers, twins. Their names are Zaki and Zakwan, and they're turning 15 this year. This is my mom, Nora. She has been taking care of them ever since they were born. Despite all the challenges she has been through, she still remains strong and does her best to look after all 4 of her children. However, shortly after the birth of the twins, many complications soon began to arise.
We went to the developmental unit where they did some tests on Zaki Zakwan. One of it is the test for autism. Another one that the doctors suspect that they could have is the Rubinstein-Tayeby syndrome. But after going through all the other tests, they couldn't find any specific conclusion. So that's why Zaki Zakwan is now diagnosed with global developmental delay.
Global developmental delay, otherwise known as GDD, is a generalized intellectual disability. Children diagnosed with GDD do not develop at the same pace as their peers due to their impaired learning ability. GDD can have many underlying causes. However, 40 to 50% of these cases are unknown. Unfortunately, this was the case for my brothers as well. Despite that, it doesn't stop them from finding the joy and fun in the little things they do.
Zaki like to play with water, whereas Zakwan like to play with the marble trap. Actually, I don't know why Zaki is so fascinated with water, but he has been fascinated since he was small. It calmed him down and made him feel that after that he can go on to the next part of the day. One thing about Zakwan, somehow he knows the number of marbles he has. We have never actually counted the marbles he has in his container, but if you were to take it away, at one look he somehow will know that some marbles are missing. Then he will go around the house looking for it.
In the beginning, my family and I had trouble telling them apart. I used to differentiate them by the coloured shirts they were wearing. While Zaki has a mole on his right cheek, Zakwan has a scar on his eyebrow. At first sight, they seem like any other child. Fun, lovely, and excitable. I didn't really understand what was so special about them, or why my mom had to spend so much time with them. To me, They were just my ordinary twin brothers, and all I knew was that they needed more care and attention.
Because Zaki Zakwan both can't talk, so it's difficult to know exactly what they are feeling, what they want. Especially when they cry and throw tantrum. Either they will throw themselves on the floor and just roll or start screaming there, or they might just hit the wall or whatever that is around them.
Due to their lack of speech, it is difficult to communicate with them as they are unable to express themselves. This takes a toll on my mom as well, when the twins are not able to understand her. It was an especially difficult period of time when the twins had to undergo surgery for their legs. Ever since they were young, Zaki and Zakwan had developed the habit of tiptoeing while they walked. As a result, surgery was needed to remove the hardened muscles to prevent them from injuring themselves in the future.
Getting them to go through the surgery, while I know that it's for their benefit, it's also not a very easy decision for me to make, because all surgery will have whether it will be a success or not. For their case, they have another hurdle to go because mentally they do not understand. It's very hard to explain to them why they have to just lie down, but no words can help to make them understand. I just have to be strong, just show a happy face, smile at them, give them the assurance that everything is okay.
My mom always tries her best to ensure that the twins are happy and cared for. Despite working a full-time job, she also ensures that she spends time with Zaki and Zakwan. Every weekend, my mom would bring the twins to the airport, as it is one of their favorite places to visit.
So once we reach the airport, what I will do is I will let them take the lead. To me, it doesn't matter that they are actually going to do something very boring or simple to other people, which is just standing at the SkyTrain there, looking at the train. But somehow, to them, they are just enjoying themselves. They are just very happy.
The twins have greatly improved in their social skills and are beginning to understand feelings, as well as how to empathize with others.
I noticed that they are now more friendly to people around them. They are beginning to identify the people who come to our house, people who they meet outside. They greet them without even me asking them to do it. Sometimes they will just go to that person and wave or hug them. So for that part, I am quite happy to see that they have at least improved in their social interaction with their.
It might have taken a long time for them to get this far, but it was an even tougher journey for my mom, who chose to never give up on them. She was always there for them from the very first moment they were able to walk, till today, where they are finally able to care for themselves and each other.
One of my biggest regrets is not quitting my job when I had Zaki Zakwan. I should have stayed home and focused on them. Maybe I could have done more. I could have spent more time. I could have helped them to develop faster. Because when you're working, so your time spent on looking and caring after Zaki Zakwan is not as much as I would like to. Zaki and Zakwan, don't worry, no matter what happens, I will always pray for you to be happy, for you to be healthy and well taken care. And even if Mak is not around, you still have your brother and your sister. And please be good children. Listen to your brother, listen to your sister. Don't give them trouble. Learn to take care of yourself. And inshallah we will meet in Jannah together. And by then, I hope to hear you call me Ama.
After all these years, I finally understood that even though this might not have been the ideal family I imagined it to be, it was even more than what I've always hoped for. In the end, I realized that my ideal family and my reality had always been intertwined.
When I was younger, I used to follow my father to work. I wasn't sure what he was. He had no office and he wore no tie. Instead, he earned his keep by roaming the corridors of the HDB blocks. My father's job was never mentioned in school, nor could it be found in the pages of the dictionary. Yet every now and then, I would hear and see people just like him. Men dressed shabbily, clothes worn, hands shriveled and hair unkempt. They would shout continuously as they homed through car parks and weaved through the streets. Sometimes I would even overhear parents saying to their children, "If you don't study hard, you'll end up a Karang-Guni." Was this really how my father was portrayed? At 54 years old, my father has been a Karang-Guni for half his life. For 27 years, he has collected old goods to make a living. Karang-Guni may be a Chinese trait, but one may not know that the name itself is Malay, which stands for Ganisak. The Karang-Guni is a unique trait that holds genuine Singaporean roots, with its origin dating back to the 70s. I must admit that when I entered primary school, I became more conscious about my father's occupation. Many times I found myself wondering what life could have been if my father was a doctor instead, or maybe just a regular office worker, like many of my friends' fathers. I could not have dinner with him like other families would, for he was always working from dawn till dusk every day, taking off days only during Chinese New Year.
我们刚刚出来收的时候是很害羞啦，看到人不敢看他们啦，看地上啦，没有怎样啦，久久了就习惯了就可以了。嘎啷古里的困难，以前是没有什么困难啦，现在困难比较多啦。现在就是车很贵啦，货很少啊，赚不到什么钱啦。嘎啷古里就是比较辛苦啦，要晒太阳啊，淋雨啊。 下大雨就不可以收啦。
Although the rag and bone trade has been on the decline since the turn of the century, growing up, I found myself being surrounded by many Karang-Guni uncles who would gather at Ang Mo Kio to sell their hard-earned wares. Like my father, these Karang-Guni have been in the trade for a very long time, and they all came with varied experiences and stories. They are all good friends of my father, and each and every one of these Karang-Guni uncles breathes life into the place. Mr. Eng is one of my father's colleagues, and although he's relatively new to the trade, he has already picked up the prejudice this Karang-Guni face in a short time.
这个港股呢他们多数是说，哎呀，你们这种是很低级的工作啊，没有读书的，好像有些人是说有一点学问，他就看不起你了。家长有的也是有这样讲啊，你不好好读书嘞，以后啊你长大了啊，你就找不到工作，你要做橄榄股呢。
However, contrary to what Mr. Eng believes, there are those who still remain fiercely proud of their trade, like Mr. T and Mr. Go.
新加坡啊，一大堆橄榄木泥啊，然后你会给人家看不起。
这个环保啊，我们是好啊。
你去打抢、去杀人放火，就给人家看不起。OK， 我们做正行的，
什么就好了。
橄榄姑娘做橄榄姑娘，真正讲橄榄姑娘是做伟大了，因为橄榄姑娘属于环保嘛，现在流行环保啊。你看，如果我们没有新加坡没有做橄榄姑娘来收这个旧货啊，他们就拿去烧掉啊，就污染空气了啊。因为现在这种就是可以卖的，人家的外国那些比较穷的国家都买这种旧电视机看啊。如果我们没有收这种，他们哪里有电视机看？他们买新的都买不起呀。这个行业要淘汰的原因就是，现在市场的货比较少，车又贵，费用都很高啦，每个都赚不到钱，是这样，没有办法嘞。
Thankfully, after years of hard work, my father saved enough to rent his own space and acquired a large amount of equipment to open his own company, cementing his place in the trade as a middleman. Today, his warehouse is still a hub of activity. Each and every one of these uncles here breathes life into a struggling trade. They have turned themselves into a small community where the warehouse was a place they could see their toil being turned to gold. All the Karang-Guni uncles here share the same motivation as my father, which is to earn a decent living through hardship to feed their families. Being so different yet so alike, there is an unspoken bond among them, a trust forged slowly over many years.
不过老师讲一句话了，安哥老师讲一句话了哦，你爸爸的人啊，我认识到我很开心，他能谈得来。
谈得来，
做人老实
啊，谈得来就好嘛。
谈得来，做人老实。Thank you. You father very good. Okay. Okay. I'm very happy. Okay.
我每天大概是9点半到10点做工，回家大概是8点9点。没有什么生意就7点，如果生意再好之后10点也可以。我每天都是大多数都是一个人吃饭，因为时间不一样嘛。我自己一个人做工吃了就吃饭了，这个跑掉了。偶尔会跟他们一起吃饭啦，碰到一起就一起吃饭。怀念跟人家吃饭一定会啦。我们都从小都在跟孩子在一起，一定会想着跟孩子他们一起吃饭啦。
Looking back now, I feel ashamed that I was ashamed of my father. He braved the rain and sun, working long hours every day, facing other people's contempt just to support my family and I. The fatigued look on his face, those arms tanned by the scorching sun. It makes me wonder how my father could find the strength to persevere through after all this while. My father plies a trade that many scorn and shun, but in my eyes, he is a respectable man. I do not know how much longer he can work, as 25 years of intense labour has also taken a toll on his body. My father is uneducated. My father may be despised by others, but his sacrifice has raised a family. It has raised me, and for that, I am eternally grateful.
I've been doing lion dancing for 23 years. I'm in Namsen for about 10 years. Looking at the lion is very interesting. I wonder how the eyes blinking, the mouth moving, then like the lion actions. So when they performing at time, I just approach one of my friend. I say I want to join the lion dance.
6年前，我的哥哥带我来参加舞狮，然后我就喜欢上了舞狮，我就待了几年了。
The iconic tradition of line dance had long been an art form governed by strict codes of membership. Line dancers were exclusively Chinese and almost always men. But the ancient Chinese art of line dance has been undergoing a silent revolution in the Lion City, reflecting a more diverse membership, wider respect, and appreciation throughout the world. Namsen is one of about 20 lion dance troupes in Singapore. They have been active for a decade now. But for a relatively young group, they've already chalked up a series of impressive honours earned during competitions. The troupe is hard at work. In 10 days' time, these lion dancers will have to fight for the pride and glory of their troupe in the fiercest competition of the year.
我们参加了11年了，因为这个是第11届了，所以我们获得了5次冠军了。第1年的时候我们是得了冠军了，第1届的时候，接下来连续4、5、6届，应该是4、5、6届都拿冠军，连续冠军了。
With the high standards of Namsen and their reputation on the line, the pressure is on.
每一个比赛都是会紧张的，因为你会有很多外国队、新加坡舞狮队，就是全部的舞狮会看好你，看你会不会这些，所以打错的话都蛮压力的。
While they aren't usually the stars of the troupe, the rhythm section plays a pivotal role nonetheless. giving the beat and momentum that keeps the lion head and tail in sync.
Competition is really stressful. You have to be exact, accurate and fast.
如果说舞狮，不要说我打乐器打错了，如果说舞狮他们没有跌，跳得完整，没有扣分，他们一跳完了，我们就整个放松，超开心的。
While Shirley finds her form on the cymbals, sadly, Roy is unable to stomp the battlegrounds alongside his pride.
I have height phobia because I had a bad fall before when training time. If I didn't have a bad fall, I will still be active on competition.
在练狮的时候，偶尔啊都会有这种跌倒的形象算出来，好像有些折到脚啊、折到手啊、头破血流都有过啊。这个手断了，但是我们的这个 arm 的大骨整个断掉，然后整个一个 V shape 出来。危险当然是有了，没有危险啊，那种不精彩了，没有人看。
With all the danger and possible injuries that could be attained, it is no wonder why Roy has developed a fear for the high poles. But stunts and dangers were not the only challenges Roy had to face while picking up this art form. He also faced problems fitting in.
Because when they say Chinese, I will start the flag already because I don't understand. Keep on asking them what you talking. They was like, hey, I'm very tired, don't talk to me now, I don't want to talk to you. I got no stamina to explain. That was like, I was asking only. Then he say like, I already told you already I was tired. I say, you can say properly what tired. Why you must like so picture like that?
If Roy faced a language barrier, Shirley had bigger problems.
当初的挣扎在试管是很多东西都不能做，就比如说那个他们比赛的跳桩，女生不可以跨过去，他们觉得倒霉，他们就会看到我跟那些男生一样都搬东西搬上搬下，然后他们就会问我，为什么你搬东西不是男生搬？然后他们就说他们那里都是男生做东西，他们女生什么都不用做。我就觉得这样子也是很没有意义啦。
以前的思想会比较自私啊，但是现在开放了，现在的思想真的不一样。我们有这种交流的，好像我们的想法，因为我们新加坡是4大种族嘛，每个种族来参加也是好了，就是说他们有心学，我们就有心教。
With this new era of accepting and including others, finally, Roy and Shirley have forged lifelong friendships.
I treat this family as a second family 啦。
在这个试管，因为他们是属于我的第2个家庭了。
The day has arrived for this pride of lions to perform in unison. In today's competition, troops from all over Southeast Asia are competing to see who will emerge victorious. Shirley is the only lioness among the collective pride. She waits patiently at the wings, hoping it would be her up there one day.
如果要说好，其实我觉得我做的还不够好啦。机会再学当然是愿意啊，学多一点东西，所以改次如果真的表演那个东西的话，我还可以去表演。
Now, it's Namsing's turn to take the stage. troupe put on a strong showing. Although they didn't emerge champions, they earned a respectable runner-up.
Proud is proud, but we're happy because we get to enjoy more.
骄傲是还好啦，开心比骄傲还多啦，因为这不是我一个人的功劳。
As Singapore grows more diverse as the days go by, it is nice to see that a once cloistered and exclusive art form include a wider range of diversity amongst their membership, breathing an unexpected new life into an old tradition, including more people who share the same passion for this art form. Regardless of race, language, or religion, we can all join in the pride. What was the last thing you heard when you stepped into a modern salon? Modern salons not only offer customers a variety of hairdressing services, but also a luxurious environment. However, other than modern salons, there is one other place that a handful of Singaporeans have been going to for years. Tucked behind the back alleys of restaurants stands a street barber. Meet Mr. Lee Yuan Dong, one of the last street barbers in Singapore. Out of the 82 years of his life, 55 were dedicated to the barbering industry. Today, he still cuts his customers' hair with much care and passion.
我小的时候啊，对于这理发的行业有兴趣了，我就拿这一盘水果上楼梯啊，看看我的师傅在剪头发。我就给他一点水果，然后他坐在那边，一边看一边吃，一边拿来吃了。
Street barbers have gone a long way back in Singapore's history and are called the 5-foot-way traders, also known as go kaki in Hokkien. These people were craftsmen who operated along walkways or shop houses that were 5 feet wide. They provided affordable goods and services and set up their stalls wherever space was available, allowing them to shift easily. The simple setup of a wall mirror, some plastic pills, and a barber chair allows the mobility of a street barber. Mr. Lee's tools have been with him for 55 years and are still used today for a variety of services.
希尔登沃它有一种药水， 跟它洗一下，它就不会痒。还有这个挖耳朵的东西要给它松然后这个用这个来跟它夹出来是这样。我看有40年起码，你现在外面找不到的，也是买不到的
Even with these unique traits, few people patronize street barbers. As people visit modern barber shops because of convenience, they soon grew comfortable and began visiting it more often, drawing customers away from Mr. Lee.
做生意你不要放在心里，有时候生意好，有时候生意不好，因为6块一个头，有时候我空手回家。你有机会一定要拼命做，11、2点钟吃饭没问题。
Today, Mr. Lee's barber services are still unknown and unnoticed by many. Despite the many high-rise buildings along Telok Ayer Street and the busy lunch crowd it brings, only a handful of office workers know about this hidden gem. Despite the pain and ache Mr. Lee has to face today, there were also struggles in the past.
他2个 gangster 来跟我拿钱，他们来是1、2个，一定的也是看你生意好了，他不是开口大一点。就跟他讲说理发不是很好赚，你怎么样去储蓄这个钱？我的女儿跟我说不要给她，我说你是女的，你很危险，你女儿怎么样跟人家打架？她有没有拿刀来？你要防备。
The troubles Mr. Lee faced in the 1970s as a street barber forced him to take on other jobs to provide for his family. After going through the struggle of providing for his daughter's education, Mr. Lee finally returned to the barber's trade, earning the confidence and loyalty of many customers over the years. These customers are also the ones who have been sustaining Mr. Lee's trade till today. They have not made this just a business, but also a friendship that lasts.
真的，我这边的顾客每一个都很关心我，他知道我没有吃饭，他刚才拿一包饭，还有一个咖啡，他有的顾客是给我。我们不必用那么多费用出去，可以节省。他也知道我在这边收的价钱很低。
很久了咯，很久了，几十年。因为安哥的手势是很好我们都谈得很好的，但是我的广东话就说得不好了。
Well, I went to Google and I typed in best barber in Singapore and gave me to another webpage, and I saw a picture of this guy doing his business in the alley and I was sold from the picture.
53年，53年，他剪得很好，又便宜。
So you come in through here in this alleyway and it's a whole different world. Hard to find, but it was worth it. Clearly he's cut a few thousand people's heads, so he knows what he's doing. Even if you don't get your hair cut, just come down and have a look, right? Because it's something that's pretty unique, I guess.
很难得老师傅身体这么好，80几岁高龄还在这边一直待这边为我们服务，谢谢他。
You gotta come here. This guy gives the best haircuts in Singapore.
她剪得漂亮 ，nice。他在这里做了10多20年了，这里，当时生活真的很辛苦啊。我好像我们这样，又要照顾家，自己的家还要照顾父母。我还不会做了，没有这个气力，老了了。我今年82岁了，最多给你做多1年。你气力就差了，一年一年啊，我们会退步的。时间很珍贵的。